All new at 6 o'clock, complaints filed with state and federal agency say sales representatives at Gaston County car dealership lied about customers' incomes and how much the car would cost in order to get them a loan.
Customers at Kia of Gastonia say they are victims of a scheme to defraud them and banks out of tens of thousands of dollars. WBTV investigative reporter David Hodges was alerted to this problem by a call to our tip line. He has spent months since then digging into this story. So, David, what are these customers saying happened to them?
All the customers I spoke to say they went into Kia of Gastonia after getting a mailer saying they had won money. None of them actually won, but when they went into Kia, they all walked out with a new car and a new loan they couldn't afford and one they shouldn't have been able to get in the first place.
You reach out to people for help and nobody seems to care.
Tiffany Crockett contacted WBTV Investigates after her mom bought a new car from Kia of Gastonia.
Walked out with a 2018 Kia Soul.
At a cost of $679 a month, more than she could afford. But Crockett says the dealership came up with a solution. In her complaint with the Attorney General's office, she says the dealership offered her mom a check.
That was to give her $5,000 cash to offset her payment. And if she made her payment on time with the money that they gave to her, she could refinance at the end of the year.
But Melanie Bull with Legal Aid North Carolina says the dealership can't make that promise.
From our understanding, they are intending to deceive. They know that that's not true, and they're intending to deceive the customer because they want them to buy that car.
Bull says their office has received 5 separate complaints from consumers about Kia of Gastonia. And there are plenty of other complaints. WBTV found 11 separate complaints for 17 different customers, filed with the North Carolina Attorney General's office, the Federal Trade Commission, and the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles.
I was lied to and manipulated.
Joyce Parks, Baxter Hansen, and Darlene and Donnie Inslee all filed complaints with the North Carolina Attorney General's office. They all wrote the sales staff at Kia promised them they could refinance their car loans.
Yes.
Come back in about 6 months.
But the similarities don't stop there.
Something's not right here.
So you started wondering, how did she even get approved for this in the first place?
Exactly, because she shouldn't never ever went out the door with the car.
Crockett's mother has an income of less than $1,000 a month, but she left the dealership with a monthly payment of $679. Crockett wondered why a bank would ever approve that loan, so she got a copy of the credit application. What on the application really struck you?
That her income was $4,600.
So she didn't fill out this application?
No.
She doesn't make $4,600 a month?
No.
Joyce Parks and everyone else in this interview also provided WBTV with copies of credit applications showing their incomes were falsified. Legal aid attorney Melanie Bull says customers are consistently complaining about this issue.
They're telling us when they get their applications, they're seeing that the income that they told the sales rep is grossly inflated, sometimes as much as 400%.
Is that potentially illegal too?
In our view, from what we're hearing from consumers, yes.
WBTV did some digging and found that all these customers worked with a third-party sales team Kia of Gastonia hired called Integrity Automotive Promotions, which is listed in some of their complaints. The owner of Integrity, Brian Leachman, told WBTV over the phone, quote, "Any final paperwork that is signed by the dealership. Nobody from Integrity Automotive Promotions does any financial work with customers." Kia of Gastonia General Manager Ken Myers responded in consumers' complaints to the Attorney General's office that the customers were having remorse over the purchase, but that the dealership is unaware of any verbal agreements and that all the customers signed the credit application.
I have no idea how they got my signature like that without my knowledge, but they did.
But in at least 2 cases, WBTV found not only was the income falsified, but the car as well. In their complaint with the Attorney General's office, the Inslees say they bought a standard 2016 Nissan Rogue from Kia. But the credit application says the car was equipped with a power sunroof, a navigation system, and other premium features. A search on Kelley Blue Book shows the Inslees paid the price of the premium vehicle and not the standard one they actually bought.
Then he said, well, they've got you down as having the most expensive Rogue when we actually had the cheapest one.
Now, customers' car buying opportunities are limited. Parks and Hansen say the sales team at Kia of Gastonia told them they should voluntarily let their car be repossessed. Their credit took the hit. Crockett says her mom could no longer afford the car payments and her Kia was repossessed.
She went to the dealership with the car, got a new car, and she has nothing now.
The owner of Kia Gastonia, Chris Hafer, declined our request for an interview. Over the phone, he gave me this statement. At the time, while I was recovering from heart surgery, some alleged irregularities took place at Kia of Gastonia. I was made aware of these issues. I have attempted to resolve these issues and have been involved with and cooperated with all investigations. I am unable to comment further due to privacy laws and the investigation. The Federal Trade Commission and U.S. Attorney's Office would not tell us if they are still investigating. Legal Aid North Carolina is requesting that if you've had a similar issue with this dealership, you call them at 866-219-5262. And of course, you can call us at 704-374-3511. Jamie Marine.
We are hearing from many of you about problems with a local car dealership that we first exposed more than a month ago.
The problems center around loans written for cars being sold by Kia of Gastonia and allegations some of that paperwork may have been forged.
WBTV investigative reporter David Hodges broke this story. He is here with us tonight with an update on this. So David, how many more people are you hearing from?
Jamie and Marine, a story that started with a call to our tip line has now ballooned into an investigation with more than 30 customers calling to complain, some of whom had also filed formal complaints with government watchdogs. So when you saw the story that we aired, did it make you realize you're not alone in this?
Yes.
Chinetta Brooks and her friend Lena Petty bought a used 2015 Pathfinder from Kia of Gastonia in 2017. Months later, it was repossessed.
We were just looking for a cheap ride from Charlotte to back and forward, you know, nothing really expensive.
But the deal ended up being a costly one. Brooks provided us a copy of her credit application she says Kia of Gastonia filled out to get her a loan. She says they put her monthly income at $4,900 a month without her knowledge.
I was barely getting $900 by then.
The car was sold to her for nearly $49,000 with monthly payments of $652. But Petty said Kia of Gastonia promised that they could refinance it to a lower monthly rate.
I took it to my bank and they said, you trapped in this.
That's because the car they bought was not the car that was sold on paper. The credit application listed features the car didn't have, so the actual value of the car was much less than what they bought it for. So no bank was willing to touch it?
No.
Here it is a year later and I'm still making the $564-month payment. It's really starting to eat away at my money.
The same thing happened to Lisa Sherrill. She bought this 2018 Kia from the dealership.
They were like, yeah, we can help you no matter what your situation is. I'm like, but everybody else has told me no.
She provided us a copy of her credit application, which she says also had her income inflated.
How much inflated roughly?
I'd say around $400 extra a month.
Gives you nightmares.
Darlene Inslee, her husband Donnie, Baxter Hansen, and Joyce Parks all filed formal complaints against Kia of Gastonia with the North Carolina Department of Justice. They're just a few of the more than 30 people who told WBTV they were taken advantage of by Kia of Gastonia. 9 of them have provided credit applications that show their incomes were falsified on their loan applications.
I have bought cars before, and I've never been treated like that, and I just feel like they need to be shut down. I really do.
We reached out to Kia of Gastonia and their attorney, but did not receive a response for this story. Many of the customers who also said that they were taken advantage of by this car dealership said they worked with a third-party sales group working at the dealership called Integrity Automotive Promotions. Many customers I spoke to say they were the ones who promised that they could refinance. They previously told us that Kia of Gastonia was the one that finalized all loan deals. Jamie Marine.
New now at 6, we're uncovering more details about a Gaston County car dealership that's been the subject of a months-long WBTV investigation.
That's right. And WBTV was first to tell you in May about Kia in Gastonia and the allegations the dealership was falsifying people's applications. Well, now our investigative reporter David Hodges has uncovered a new lawsuit against the dealership by one of the lenders. They claim the dealership knew about employees falsifying loan applications.
I wanted people to know what kind of dealership that place is.
Darlene Inslee is one of 10 people who filed complaints with the North Carolina Department of Justice against Kia of Gastonia. More than 40 people have reached out to WBTV claiming they were taken advantage of by Kia of Gastonia, and 11 of them have provided credit applications that show their incomes were falsified on their loan applications. Tiffany Crockett also filed a complaint on behalf of her mother.
So she didn't fill out this application?
No.
She doesn't make $4,600 a month?
No.
It's not just customers claiming this, but now one of the lenders. In July 2018, Grow Financial Credit Union filed this lawsuit against Grassroots Associates, which also goes by Kia of Gastonia. The lawsuit was settled in April of this year. In the complaint, Grow identified 9 different customers whose monthly income was inflated, and the dealership promised the monthly payments could be refinanced in 6 months or more. The lawsuit claims one customer's loan application indicated their income was $5,981 a month. In reality, the customer was making $952 a month. Grow claims in the lawsuit all of this happened between November 15, 2017 and January 19, 2018, and that Kia of Gastonia, quote, purposefully inflated its customers' income and or other information on the loan documents for the purpose of inducing Grow Financial to acquire loans that otherwise would not qualify, and that the dealership and its employees actively encouraged and condoned its customers' inflation of their income. In addition to their lawsuit, Grow Financial filed this criminal complaint with the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles. We've confirmed the DMV investigated and turned over its findings to the Gaston County District Attorney, who hasn't taken any public action and didn't return multiple phone calls about this story.
That was our David Hodges reporting. WBTV tried reaching out to an attorney for Kia of Gastonia, but did not receive a response. Previously, the owner of the dealership told WBTV, quote, at the time while I was recovering from heart surgery, some alleged irregularities took place at Kia of Gastonia. I was made aware of these issues. I have attempted to resolve those issues.